You ready?
Yeah.
How do you feel about racism in sports?
I see racism in sports as a reflection of a broader social problem that we have. And I feel like it's not an easy fix by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel as if it's very dependent on your background, your experiences, how you grew up, what kind of town you lived in, what kind of high school you went to. Was it diverse? Were you around people that were accepting and challenging themselves in different ways? Or were you around folks who are satisfied with just doing the same thing or being around the same folks all the time? And I believe that can carry over often in sports pretty easily. I think sports are a big reflection on larger societal factors, and sports can be a huge metaphor in life, and they can bring out and really heighten any sort of feelings you may have about anything, including race, which can be a fortunate and unfortunate thing. I think sports exemplify some of the strongest notions of brotherhood and of humankind that we can have, but they also represent some of the strongest notions of racism throughout the world. And recognizing that not only as a sports issue, but also a societal issue, I think is very important as we move forward.
Has anyone ever racially abused you in sports? If so, how did you deal with it?
Nothing sticks out in my mind as a time where I've been racially abused, and part of that is due to the fact of me being a white male and being a part of the majority. It's hard to experience those things. But you can be in I wouldn't really call it abuse. I definitely have been biased against. And white men can't jump. Whatever it might be, which it's being a part of the majority and having that to lean on makes it easier for me, fortunately and unfortunately, that it's harder for me to understand the implications of it because I'm not a victim very often, but it also takes less of a toll, which makes it even harder to get outside of my own world and empathize and realize the implications of it.
Which sport do you feel may cause the most problems in racism?
It's kind of difficult. I'm a little hesitant to say it, but potentially soccer. Being the world's largest sport, most played sport, countries, nations really back their teams, and you have a sense of pride. And that sense of pride can be great for those who are included in the pride, but when you step outside of that, or when someone challenges it, or if you're losing, oftentimes an easy solution for fans, for players, is to fall back on a differentiating factor. And oftentimes, unfortunately, it can be race. It isn't always, but with something like soccer, you support your nation, you support your country. I read a book in my human geography course in high school, is How Soccer Explains the World, and it was very fascinating, just about the gang violence and all that goes on in other parts of the world that you don't know exists when you live in America, but it can definitely manifest itself. But also, in that same breath, it's a big unifying factor. You've got events like the World Cup, events like the Euros. It provides opportunities for people to go from what is perceived as a poor situation for many, and to improve and get involved with the national spotlight or be a part of a team. And so soccer, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You've got togetherness, team factors. I had a teammate in high school who was Liberian, ended up having 2 or 3 more, and just being exposed to their life was very enriching for me, to have someone that I can relate to who might go through these kind of things, who doesn't know might not know when the next meal is going to be. Because for me that's hard to imagine. But because I'm involved with sports, because I'm involved with soccer specifically, I have a specific friend that I can relate to in those kind of situations.
All right, man. Now, the website name is sportracism.weebly.com. So can you say, please visit sportracism.weebly.com to learn more on how to stop racism in sports.
Yeah. Is that your website?
Yeah, I
Sweet.
created a website.
I'm about to do one of those.
Yeah, I'll hold it up for you.
All right.
Maybe like right here.
Yeah.
Sports racism.
Sports.
Sports. Yeah. Sports.
Sportsracism.weebly.com.
Yes.
All right. Please visit sportsracism.weebly.com to learn more how to stop racism in sports. Would you like me to say it to the camera or?
I think the camera,
All right.
because it's like a direct message to the viewers.
All right. Please visit sportsracism.weebly.com to learn more on how to stop racism in sports.
Appreciate it, man.
Oh, heck yeah.